So guys, just very quickly, if you'd like to join our membership scheme, please click the link in the description, link in the comments, just a way to support the channel. It's a Patreon. We have exclusive videos on there, for example, Team of the Week, every single week, exclusively to members. We also have early access videos to members. There's a First Division and a Premier Division top 5 signings on there at this moment in time too. There'll be a jersey giveaway for anyone that signs up by March 9th. Members will also be voting for Player of the Month each month. It'll be Irish Footy Vlogs Player of the Month. That'll be voted by the members as well. Onto the video. Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another Premier Division show with a full set of fixtures to look back on Friday, and I'll give my quick predictions ahead of Monday's games. Before we get into that, we've got the Player of the Month nominations for February. I've come up with the 6 nominations. Now the members are going to vote for the Irish Footy Vlogs Player of the Month for February. If you want to be a member, click the link in the description or in the comments. Now, the nominations I've come up with, I'll put them up on the screen there. Patrick Hickey, Galway United. Jenna Asue, Galway United. Harry Wood, Shelbourne. Mark Coyle, Shelbourne. Conor Keeley, Drogheda United. And Aidan Keena, St Patrick's Athletic. On to the games. Cork City had a super 2-1 win against Bohemians at Turner's Cross. Only Cork City's second game of the season. And their second at Turner's Cross. They're still unbeaten, 4 points from 2 games. Whereas Bows have 3 points from 3 games after beating Shamrock. Rovers have been beaten on the road twice in a row now. Up in Derry and all the way down in Cork. They'll be disappointed with that. For the game itself, Cork lined out with Troost in goal. Crowley played right back. Anderson and Lyons were centre back with Benny Couto at left back. In midfield, they had Shipson and Bolger. They had Murray on the right, Dykesteel on the left, Maguire and Keating up front. Cottle O'Sullivan, of course, was injured and will be out for, say, the next month or so. Now, when I said Murray on the right, it was a weird one because Dykesteel obviously played left wing, but Murray kind of played very central in the game. It's almost like they had a 3-man midfield and didn't really have a right winger as such, which is interesting. Bohemians, for their part, they made a good few changes actually. A lot of people might say too many changes to the defeat in Derry City. If you're a Bulls fan, let me know what you think in the comments there. But James Talbot once again lined out in goal. Flores came in at left back. Sean Gretton made his debut, the loanee from Palace, previously of Bulls as well, of course. But he made his debut at right back. At centre back was Rob Cornwall, Lee Kavanagh. In midfield, they went for Devoy and Buckley came into the side for Moran. Clark played in the centre. I spoke about him in the last show. Actually, he plays more of a number 10 that he wasn't really getting a look in. But that meant that Tierney was moved wide and Rooney was on the other wing. Mousset was up front again. So, musical chairs. I don't know what Bulls fans think about that, but they've got obviously a right back, a natural centre back. Flowers again goes back to the left back despite them signing an actual left back. So they have full backs. Mountney is there as well, but they've gone. That's the way Alan Reynolds decided to play the game, and Buckley came in, obviously made an impact. He gave Bohemians the lead with a deflected effort. Now he does well. He turns in his left foot, but I think it hits off Anderson, loops into the net, and to give Bowes the lead after 21 minutes. But Cork had just hit the bar just before that actually. Maguire equalised 35 minutes. Shipson with a lovely cross into the box. Got a good right foot, Shipson. Maguire does well to head into the net. And I just thought his celebration from the Bulls fans was funny because he pretty much mimicked what Ross Tierney did in front of the Rovers fans at the Aviva. Into the second half, and Rory Keating's deflected effort in 83 minutes. It was a good counter-attack from Cork led by Sean Maguire. Keating does well though, drives at the defender. Cuts inside, takes a shot, takes a deflection, but I think Talbot should do better with this particular deflection. The deflection actually makes the ball go closer to James, if I'm honest with you. He'd be disappointed with that, I would have thought. And that gave Cork all 3 points, so an absolutely fantastic win for Cork City. Once again, it's difficult to know where Bows are at. It's early in the season, but 2 defeats in 3 games is disappointing, I would say, for them. And I said at the start of the season that they've an awful lot of players, and I don't know, especially in midfield, you feel like are they going to have to rotate almost for the sake of rotating as well. And, early in the season to be making a lot of unforced changes is curious. I had mentioned how, for example, for me, James Clark and Tierney can't really play in the same team because they're both number 10s. So if they both play in the same team, someone's going to be completely out of position, basically. And that's what happened in this particular game. So it's a difficult one. For me, it has to be Clark or Tierney. I know I said previously that Clark seems to have got frozen out, but he wasn't actually coming on as a sub, etc., and making an impact that way. But I don't know. I'd love to know where Bowls fans stand on this. Cork City be delighted. There's some of their players I'm impressed with so far, their new signings. Shipston and Benny Couto at left back. Very impressed with those two guys, to be honest. And Cork City, obviously. They've a serious threat up front with Maguire and Keane. I think Cork City fans would be delighted with the start they made to the season. They might be fearful at the start of the season, thinking it's a strong league. They could go back down, etc. But it's a great start to the season. A magnificent 3 points for them. Cork City fans, let me know what you think in the comments. Next up to the Brandywell, where Derry City were defeated by 2-1 by Waterford FC. And a bit of a surprise, this one. Derry City, brilliant record, as I mentioned in the previous show, against Waterford last season. But that was eradicated in this game, wasn't it? Kyle White with his first goal, and I believe his first start for Waterford FC as well, after 9 minutes. Good play, actually, where he feints the shoot and comes in as right and finishes well. Rakowski scoring in 39 minutes as well to give them a 2-0 lead, and he strikes it well. I think Brian Marley would be a little bit disappointed to get beaten as near post. Waterford at 28% possession in this football match, and it just shows you don't need the possession to win games sometimes, and they had other chances in the game as well to score. Derry a lot of possession. They improved in the second half, but Derry went with a number of changes themselves, so they did for this game. They went for Brian Marr in goal again, Connolly and Holt making his debut at centre back. I think Holt might have cleared one off the line from Noonan in the second half. Might have been Holt. Left back was Ferguson. Right back was White. In the middle of the park, Harkin came into the side with Winchester and O'Reilly, Thomas and Duffy, the mainstays from the opening day of the season, on the right and the left. And Boyce played again up front, and obviously didn't score. He had some chances in the game. Houben came on and scored a penalty. I don't know what Derry City fans think at the moment, but I'd be tempted to put Houben up front for the game on Monday against St Patrick's Athletic. Personally, it'd be interesting to see what they think. The penalty itself, I thought was a little bit harsh, to be honest with you. I'm not sure it was a penalty, although they probably deserved it in the second half. The goal backboard. A judge to foul Ben Doherty came on as a sub for Derry City, and they'd be delighted to see him back. I think he gives them a bit of energy on that left-hand side, to be honest with you. He may well start, in my opinion, on Monday. But backboard was a judge to foul Doherty. I thought it was a bit harsh, to be honest with you. But there you go. Waterford, for their part, McMullen was in goal again. Looks a really good goalkeeper. I think McMullen, they might got an upgrade on Sargent there, if I'm honest with you. Again, a back three. Andy Boyle, solid. Rakowski and Leahy was at left wing back. Kyle White played... left centre back. Kyle White seemed to play as a left wing back. Backboard as a right wing back with McDonald and McMenemy in the middle of the park. Noonan just slightly ahead, and another assist for him. Amond and Lonergan played up front. Lonergan did set up Kyle White for the opening goal, and great start for Waterford. 6 points from nine, and only a narrow defeat against the champions Shelbourne as well, in between those two away victories. So an absolutely brilliant start for Keith Long's side. He'll be absolutely delighted with the start, and a very good win up in Derry City. Does counter-attacking football suit Waterford's game? Let me know in the comments if you're a Waterford fan, because they seem to counter very well, and they're certainly very dangerous in the counter. Derry City are clearly... they're in the figure and out stage, aren't they? They really are. And there's going to be a lot of chopping and changing, maybe changing in approaches, certainly in formation, maybe. Although the last two games have played pretty much the same system. But it's going to be interesting going forward, and especially for Monday's game, are they going to make many changes? I think there'll be a number of changes actually for Monday's game. But yeah, they'll be disappointed still with the start, won't they? 3 points obviously from 2 games. Am I surprised? Not really, to be honest with you. Not really. Are Derry City fans surprised? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Next up, at Sullivan Lamb Park, it finished Drogheda United 1. These boys here, Galway United 1. And maybe a bit of a game of two halves here. Drogheda were probably the better side in the first half. Galway improved in the second half. Both teams had chances in the first half, though. Hickey pulled off, forced a good save from Luke Dennison, for example, in that first half. In the second half, I don't know how. I think it was Slevin cleared it off the line from Conor Keeley, and I've watched it so many times. I don't know how he's cleared that off the line. Keeley must be wondering how he hasn't scored, to be honest, there, because it's an unbelievable clearance. How he does it, I don't know. But in the first half, Ryan Brennan, who brilliant again, leading the way in midfield with a very good header at the far post after Conor Kane did some extremely good work from the left-hand side, eventually beating Asue and getting a good cross into the box. And Brennan's there at the back post to give Drogheda United the lead about 5 minutes before half-time. In this one, Drogheda United themselves, Dennison was in goal, Quinn right centre-back, Keeley in the middle of the centre. In the middle of the centre, it sounds weird, doesn't it? But in the middle of the centre-backs, with Bulger on the left. Lamb continues the right wing-back, Kane was the left wing-back. Brennan, Farrell, Markey in the middle of the park. Bauer continued to play up front, but with Thomas out, I think he might only miss a couple of games. He might even be back for Monday, possibly. Warren Davis came in, and Davis did well, actually, to be fair, but good start for both sides, really. I mean, they're both unbeaten after 3 games. I think they'll be both pleased enough with that, to be fair. Both sides have 1 win, but 2 draws, so I think they're both pleased enough with the start they've had. I think Galway probably a bit more happier with the draw. Drogheda maybe edged it slightly, I would say. But they went with same system. Clark in goal, Cunningham left centre back, Bruder centre back, Slevin on the right of the back 3. Burns played left wing back, assisted one of the goal, or the actual goal, I should say, for Bruder in the second half, scoring from a corner. Asue right wing back, Hickey, Hurley and Keohane in the middle of the park. Dyer and Walsh up front. The only thing Galway would be disappointed, I think, in the opening 3 games, playing 2 up front, which has been Dyer and Walsh, but none of them have actually hit the net yet. So that's something they'll want to feel like they can improve on. But again, very hard to beat Galway. They're extremely hard to beat. They're one of those sides as well that can play not so brilliantly and still get a result. Drogheda have obviously started the season well, and they'd be delighted. They've been hard to beat, and they haven't had Josh Thomas, they haven't had Dougie. We know that Sue is out as well, or Alicia, I should say, is out as well. So, but I think if they had Thomas and DJ, I think that can give them another element of serious attacking prowess. But very solid start from both sides. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, Talca Park, if it's Shelbourne 1, Shamrock Rovers 1 in the Ringsend Derby. 2 early goals in the game. Harry Wood in 3 minutes. Cancelled by McAniff on 17 minutes. And the Wood goal early in the game, Shamrock Rovers will be very disappointed with the defending. Actually, they just couldn't clear it, could they? Wood does well. He reacts. He scrambles it into the net and gives Shelbourne an early lead. And you're thinking, can they kick on? McAniff's goal in 17 minutes. McAniff takes it coolly, but it's a mistake by Conor Kearns that offers the opportunity. And Shelbourne will be disappointed with their defending as well. And even enough game overall, if you look at the stats, but Shelbourne did have the better of the second half and probably the more disappointed not to get the 3 points, maybe. That said, they'll be relatively pleased having 7 points from the first 9, where Shamrock Rovers stop-start season, only 2 games, away games essentially, Bows at the Aviva, and Shells at Talca. 2 tricky Dublin derbies outside of Tala to start the season. They've picked up 1 point. They'll be pleased enough getting a point in this one, I feel. I think they would have felt to themselves that we can't afford to lose this after losing the Bows game, if I'm honest with you, and they'll be relatively pleased with that point. Shelbourne started the game with Conor Kearns in goal. Right back was Sean Gannon, left back was Ledwidge, centre backs were Barrett and Bone, although Bone went off injured after 13 minutes. Not sure how serious the injury is. That meant Ledwidge went back to centre back and Norris came on and made a good impression at left back and actually missed an opportunity to possibly win the game for Shelbourne too. But he came on and I reckon he'll start Monday. Caffrey was on the right again, Wood on the left, Coyle started, McEnroy started, those 2 were in the engine room, and of course he'd Boydie and Meepo up front. I'm smiling because Boydie's picked up his 3rd yellow card in 3 games and it's only 2 yellow cards away from suspension already. thoughts in the comments on that one. But yeah, I just thought that was worth pointing out. As for Shamrock Rovers, they went with their usual back three. They clearly Lopez and Grace, obviously in the back three there with McGinty in goal. In the middle of the park, Watts, Healy, McInnes. Left wing back was Danny Grant, and right wing back was Josh Honohan. Burke was in behind young Noonan, who was replaced by Rory Gaffney. So the Shamrock Rovers faithful will be delighted to see him back. He only played 10 minutes, but even so. And yeah, I mean, as I said, good result for Shamrock Rovers, I think. Content, I would say they would be. And in the end, Shelbourne probably content with it as well, in many ways, particularly because the start they've made. And the likes of Harry Wood looks really good at the moment, really fit. Obviously one of my nominations for player of the month, as is Mark Coyle too. And the good thing for Shelbourne, okay, Bone goes off injured, I get that, and Wilson's out. But overall, fairly fit squad for the opening start of the season, weekend seasons. A lot of other clubs are missing quite a few players actually, so they'll be happy with that. And whatever it is they're doing there, it's working for them, and they've got three good options there in midfield, I feel, as well. But overall, nothing disastrous for Shelbourne. I think Shamrock Rovers will be content with a point. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, finally, the game of the weekend, and I was at this and I vlogged this game, finished St. Patrick's like 4, Sligo Rovers 3, and before the game, both teams hadn't won this season. Very, very strange game. It took me, I couldn't digest this immediately after the game, so I had to really think about this. We had red cards, missed penalties, the usual, 7 goals, and you know, for start, Pats played with Joey Nanang in goal, who did save a penalty. McLaughlin started right back, went off injured after 16 minutes. Shelbourne came on. Redmond played centre back with Tom Gravosti, with Anto Breslin playing a left back. Shelbourne actually came on, and the whole of the Pats back four, since Shelbourne came on, actually got a yellow card, picked up a yellow card. Bagley picked up 2. We'll talk about the second one a little bit later, but Bagley started in midfield with Roman Palmer, who went off injured after 27 minutes. Brandon Kavanagh with 2 assists, played in behind Keena, who got 2 goals and was brilliant all night in every facet of centre forward play. Elbazetti on the right, who alternated with Mulroney, who was on the left. They both switched a number of times. Elbazetti was excellent on the night too and scored a goal. Sligo Rovers played with Sam Sargent in goal. Centre backs were Mahan and McElroy. Hutchison played left back. Lintosh played right back. In midfield, they went with Malley, Doyle Hayes, Wolf. Kavanagh was up front. King Kavanagh, robbed of a hat-trick perhaps. Fitzgerald played left, 2 assists. He played really well. Hikiki kind of played on the right a lot of the time actually for Sligo Rovers. But yeah, I mean, how do you go through this? For a start, I suppose we'll start with Elbazetti going 36 minutes, which gives Pats the lead. Good play by Pats, Pats in this game generally, before I get on to that, Pats attacking wise were brilliant. They could have had 7, 8, 9 goals, realistically. Honestly, they could have. They were brilliant going forward. But it was one of them where on transition, it's almost like they were trying to prove a point or something, that they literally forgot that they needed to defend in the game, and at times really got caught. Sligo didn't have an awful lot of opportunities in the game, to be honest, yet they scored 3 goals and missed a penalty. Pats, honestly, that's the best way I can put it. They forgot that they had to defend. It's like they were streaming forward, trying to prove a point, make a statement almost. There are too many flares forward at times, honestly, and they got caught. I mean, Elbazetti's gone 36 minutes, first of all. Brilliant play by Brandon Kavanagh, feeds him through. Elbazetti a touch, smash, left foot, far corner, good goal. A minute later, brilliant goal from Keena. I think it might have been, was it Bagley? Bagley hoists the ball through, actually, it was, yeah. Keena, what a touch. You think he's going to set Elbazetti his move left. He doesn't even look. He just drives. And what a powerful shot into the left corner. It was an unbelievable strike. Pats are 2-0 up. I'd say a minute, 2 minutes later, it was nearly 3-0. Honestly, Keena, somehow, another brilliant shot, crashes the bar. And you're thinking, at that point, you're actually thinking to yourself, this could be a walloping for Sligo, really. Pats are on it, and this could be a hammering. And that could have been 3. But a minute, maybe 2 minutes later, Pats get caught in their own corner, actually. Sligo break down. Fitzgerald does very well. He beats Shelbourne, if I remember correctly, beats him. Then she gets across into the box, and Kavanagh gets a touch, but apparently comes off Bagley, who was marking him, goes into the net. Now, Pats were completely disorganised defensively. Joe Redmond is running back, and Gravossi are running back. Pats have had a corner, but at the same time, I don't think they get back quick enough, and it's a mismatch, really, with Bagley and Keane Kavanagh there, isn't it, to be fair? And Sligo are back in the game suddenly. Redmond had a chance in half-time. His header just went wide. And I suppose that was it, wasn't it, in the first half. Second half, then, Forrester obviously came on for the injured Roman Palmer, and Forrester was very good in this game actually for Pats, but he was set up brilliantly by Kavanagh in 52 minutes, and you felt like Pats made a 3-1, a brilliant finish by Forrester, and you felt like they were going to kick on again. And then Sligo get a penalty, and Kiki looked like he's going to take the penalty, but then Keane Kavanagh obviously gets it. Takes the penalty, and he'd be disappointed with it. It was a good save by Nang, but he'd be disappointed with that, Kavanagh. And you think they've missed a penalty at 3-1, surely this is it. And you kept feeling like Pats could kick on, etc, etc. But they get 2 goals in 66 and 78 minutes. It was a penalty, by the way. I did think it was a foul by Shelbourne. And 66 minutes, there's so much to talk about here, isn't there? Yeah, Kavanagh scores. It's a free kick, and Joe Redmond gets himself in a muddle, to be honest with you. He tries to backheel it to Gravossi. Ends up fouling the Sligo player. It was fortunate, actually, that he wasn't the last man. He could have easily been the last man, but there was a covering player. It might have been Gravossi, actually. So he picks up a yellow. So, unnecessary, they'll feel. And it's a free kick. Sligo get the free kick in. Keane Kavanagh, bizarrely, is unmarked on the far post. Gets a header at the near post. And Nang should do better. But Sligo back in the game. And 78, Will Fitzgerald does excellently, actually. Again, good ball across, and Kavanagh's on hand to make it 3-3. And you're thinking to yourself, credit to Sligo for fighting in this game and staying in the game. They could nick something here. But you're also thinking to yourself, the way Pats have played, especially in terms of going forward, that if they don't win this, they've blown it in many senses, don't you? A minute later, after that goal, Keane does brilliantly. Pats attack. Keane does brilliantly. Chops onto his left, brilliant finish, 4-3. Bagley gets a second yellow, unnecessary yellow. I thought it was a second yellow. A couple of minutes of stoppage time, Pats are hanging on a little bit. And it finishes at Richmond Park, and Parks like 4, Sligo Rovers 3. Check out the vlog though, it's madness. Mad game. If you're a Sligo Rovers fan, let me know what you think of the comments. If you're a Pats fan, let me know what you think of their comments. But I suppose from Pat's point of view, ultimately they got their first 3 points of the season. That was the most important thing. Sligo will be disappointed. They're still on the bottom of the table with no points, so they will be very disappointed with that. But yeah, Pats have a bit of a problem going forward into Monday. Palmer's out. Lennon, we know, is out for a month. Bagley's suspended. Forrester hasn't played a full 90 minutes yet, by the way, for Pats, and he's their only recognised midfielder available, so that's going to be interesting on Monday against Derry City. Sligo, they're going to have to, they've no choice, they have to take the positives out of it, but they can't concede 3-3 and 4 in the first 3 games and expect to get points, really. That can't be happening. For Pats, they're going to have to, bring a lot of those elements of play that they've had that's been good, that was very good actually, because they could have had a half full in this game, but they have to mind the back door as well and not forget about that. Interesting game. Let's get on to the predictions. So, predictions for Monday: Bohemians and Drogheda United. Big game for Bows. First game back at Dalymount Park this season, and bit of pressure on them, maybe a little bit. Certainly pressure on them to perform. It'd be interesting to see what team Alan Reynolds actually goes with. But they have full backs at the club, so I think they need to play full backs for a start. There's no excuse now, is there? Playing Flores and even Gretton at right back, to be fair. I don't know how they're supposed to get consistency there. The odd change is fine. But will the move start again? Interesting. I mean, he keeps getting about 60 minutes in the games, hasn't scored yet. Still, the fitness levels aren't there, in my view, but look, I think he might start again. Drogheda, if they play and as organised as they have done the first 3 games, I fancy them to get something here. But I just have a sense that Bows might nick this one at Dalymount, and any kind of a win would be welcomed, I think. Going to go for Bohemians 1, Drogheda United 0. At Eamon DC Park, Galway United take on Shelbourne, and Galway United were the first team to beat Shelbourne last season, and they'll be looking to do that again. very difficult to play against. A bit like Drogheda, as I mentioned before, have obviously had a very good start, well organised, and will cause you serious problems. There'd be a big crowd even on a Monday there at Galway, Shelbourne. Probably go into this game thinking, can we grind out a result? Might be difficult to play good football this time of the year away to Galway, but can they grind something out of it? Norris will probably come in for me. Ledwidge will probably go centre back. Do we see too many more changes for Shelbourne? Probably not, to be honest. Lunny might come into the team just to give them a bit of energy in the middle of the park, considering they played Friday too. As for Galway, be interested to see if they keep the two up front, Walsh and Dyer. Not quite scored yet. Will they go with the two again? They'll certainly play one of them for sure. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. Prediction for me, I'm going to go for a draw in this one. Galway United 1, Shelbourne 1. The showground, Sligo Rovers will be hoping to pick up the first points of the season when they take on Shamrock Rovers in what is dubbed as the Rovers Derby, really. To be fair, their best performance of the season overall, Sligo, was the home game against Waterford. Okay, they were poor in the first half, but they were good in that second half. And they look to players like Will Fitzgerald. Eldie might come back into the side. They'll hope that Keane Kavanagh can get confidence from the goals he scored at Richmond Park, etc. They'll hope to defend better, that's for sure. Rovers, Shamrock Rovers that is, will be hoping that they can kick on from that draw at Shells at the weekend and get their first 3 points of the season. I think Gaffney only played 10 minutes. I can't see him starting in this one. Probably go with Noonan again. But yeah, I think Shamrock Rovers might pinch this one. Sligo Rovers 1, Shamrock Rovers 2. Then Richmond Park, St. Patrick's Day and Derry City. I think the midfield, as I mentioned, the other match is a problem for Pats, or mentioned in the review, the Pat Sligo game. They've one recognised midfielder. I think McClellan will probably come in and play with Forrester. Derry City will be hoping, I think, to take advantage of that a little bit. The likes of O'Reilly will definitely play. I think Winchester will play. Be interested to see who goes there with them. I think they'll probably go with 3 again. Will it be Harkin? Will it be Diallo, for example? Will they go with Hooban up front? That's the interesting thing. I can see Ben Doherty coming in at left back, to be honest. Pats, apart from that, I don't see any changes. And they're mainly forced. I think they'll go again. I think because of the situation Pats have in the middle of the park, I think Derry gets something. If Derry don't play anywhere near the way that I seen them play live at Shelbourne, then it nearly doesn't matter who Pats in the middle of the park. They'll beat them, to be honest with you. But I can't see them playing that bad. Am I on another draw here? Pats 2, Derry 2 at Richmond Park. Massive game, massive derby, game of the weekend. Waterford FC, Cork City at the RSC. Pity it's on a Monday though, I have to say. I think these games suit weekends more, especially all of them do, but particularly a big derby like that. It is a pity it's on a Monday, but both teams would delight with their start. Cork unbeaten, they've only played 2 matches, 4 points. Waterford 6 from 9. It's going to be a great occasion, the RSC. Both sides decent going forward. A few questions defensively, maybe. Might be fair to say. Although Waterford defended quite well against Derry, but even so, and Cork defended quite well against Bowes actually. But generally, I'd say definitely their attack is their best outlet, and you've got Lonergan and Amond, who Amond hasn't scored yet this season. Am I right? Lonergan has, and you've got Maguire and Keating. So interesting front two for both sides. The midfield area could be a big one. You've got the combative nature of the likes of Bolger in there. Shipston looks a good player to me. You've got Noonan, who's assisted a couple already for Waterford this season in there too. MacDonald, etc. It's a difficult one to judge. Waterford will go with the 3 at the back again, 2 wing backs, of course, as well, and Cork will go with their 4 at the back. I've gone for 2 draws already, but I find it difficult to separate them here. Waterford will be looking for their first goals and first win at home of the season. Cork haven't played away yet, notably, so what are they going to be like away is the question. But I have to say I can't separate them. I'm going for Waterford FC 1, Cork City 1. So guys, let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what you thought about the matches over the weekend. Give us a prediction for Monday as well. Check out the Matchday vlog, subscribe, and talk to you soon.